Hi. So there's something that's kind of been flitting through my head recently that I've felt the need to discuss. And that's the idea of an acquired taste. Um, there's always been something that's bothered me about that concept. That being kind of the idea of being forced or forcing oneself to like something, to learn to like something. Like if you I understand, in terms of like a personality, it's like, you'll get past the gruff exterior to learn that this person is. I don't understand why you would want to learn to like something. I understand, in terms of like a personality, it's like, you'll get past the gruff exterior to learn that this person is actually really, really nice. That's lovely. But in terms of like food in particular, it's never really made sense to me. And I'll admit I am a very much a picky eater. And so I realize my opinion on things like this are a bit skewed. But I've always wondered why people have chosen to attempt to acquire a taste. Let's discuss a few things that people have acquired a taste for that I don't really feel they should have needed to, in terms of food and drink at least. So, the way I feel it, there are four different categories of food or drink that we as people have kind of forced ourselves into a little bit of a culinary Stockholm syndrome with. Those are texturally weird, aromatically weird, uh, bitter foods and drink, and then just weird in and of themselves. For texturally weird foods, that would be things like oysters and mushrooms, eggs, scallops, and all like the clappy fish in general. Why, like with oysters, why would you want to ingest a food that is positively described as being an oversized booger? Why do that? We we as adult humans choose not to eat boogers, so why would you want to eat a food that is described as such? Same thing with mushrooms. They're weird and squishy. Like, we give squishy foods to people who are like invalids. There's a reason like hospitals serve a lot of jello and pudding. Second is like the aromatically weird foods. You know, stinky foods. Durian, which I'm told tastes delicious, but you can't actually open it indoors in South Korea. Like you're just not allowed to. Or lutefisk. I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but that's another one. Is like I'm pretty sure you can't open the cans inside. In I think it's Iceland. Is that an Icelandic food? I think it is. I could be wrong. But like if you aren't allowed to open a can or like a fruit while indoors, why choose to endure it? Another thing is just like moldy cheeses. Like people love to say, "Oh, blue cheese is so good. Oh, it's got that nice funk to it." Why? What's appealing about that? I've had people describe foods and cheeses in particular as smelling like feet. Do you enjoy the smell of feet? Because uh, eh. Third category would be bitter foods. Now, this is more so in terms of like drinks than foods, but like in terms of foods, like, bitter greens. Oh, massage the kale so it's not as bitter. Oh, if you blanch these greens or poach them right or saute them right, then you have to work the bitterness out. Well, if you're seeking to work the bitterness out of it, why not just find something that's inherently not bitter? But in terms of drinks, it's IPAs. What? Like, I used to work at a brew pub. I understand that the hophead craze went bananas like maybe 10 years ago. But, like, when are we going to get out of that phase? Can we move beyond that? Because I see more and more IPAs cropping up, and I see more and more IPA drinkers coming to the forefront, and I've never really understood the desire for these, the more bitter the better type of drinkers. And tannic wines. Like, I can get down with a good glass of wine, but like some of them, like, these big, full bodied, super tannic, like Petite Syrahs and Cabernets, I've never really gathered, like, or been able to understand why that is a thing that people want in their bodies. But maybe someone can explain that to me. And then finally, you have weird foods. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to cook tripe, and it kind of falls into that stinky food category where our house was unbearable for a good long time after she would cook that. I've never understood the idea of eating innards. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's like, and like I understand the whole, concept of, nothing goes to waste, but it's already waste. You know what I mean? Another thing is any type of, and here we are again, any type of feet, trotters, uh, chicken feet. Why you do this? Who came up with that idea? And I wonder who hurt that person that they thought that eating like a pig trotter was a sound decision. So I suppose the question we're addressing today is, why do you feel the need to have to acquire a taste? When you could just find the things that your body inherently enjoys and just focus on that instead. At least that's what I'm going to work through today. How about you?